Welcome to the Sex, Money, and Real Estate Podcast, the show for real estate couples about how to close more deals in the bedroom. My name is Bill Jameson.
And I'm Nancy Jameson.
And each week we deep dive into juicy, intentional, sexy conversations, sharing with you what it takes to create balance in your intimate relationships and your real estate business. Thank you so much for being here. Shall we begin? News bulletin.
News flash.
Alert. Hey, baby.
Mayday. I'm going down.
No.
I know you're excited about that.
Yeah, I am. I'm always excited when you say that. What's going on, baby?
Oh my gosh. You are.
Yeah?
You are. What a beautiful day. It's absolutely gorgeous here in Atlanta, despite Corona-mageddon.
Yes. Beautiful day. We ran 5 miles this morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with our running group in Sandy Springs.
And our boys did too.
Yep. Despite Corona apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly. Besides all the social distancing that we're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
So cool. So we're talking about all things Corona today and bulletproofing your business while you experience whatever it is that we're all going to experience for the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
absolutely.
Super excited about that. And let's talk about magic though first as
sure.
Get into our episode. What is your magic, my darling, about around today or this episode or life or?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
My magic is around Rex being home. So we just picked him up from the airport. He was on a school trip for 9 days in Panama and doing different research projects and expanding his himself and again it was with school. So there was 35 people that went to Panama. And the amazing thing about that is that they were originally supposed to go to Italy, but because of the circumstance known as the coronavirus, they shifted very quickly to going to Panama from Italy. So they completely redid the entire schedule, clearly shipped continents and flights and hotels and all that. And the amazing thing is that the trip went down from 60 people to 35 people. And through discussions with him and obviously each other, we said, you know what? It's very important that he go and experience the expansion of himself, and that the trip was much more about, or in addition to the academics, it was also amazing for him to go and experience himself and the independence associated with the trip and all those things. And so what originally turned out, I mean, he's been prepping for Italy since August and doing different projects and having conversational Italian class and research and all kinds of things. And he was a little bummed about not going to Rome and the Colosseum and eating pasta for 8 days. And, because he is a vegetarian, he was like, I'm going to be great. I'm going to have so much delicious food and everything. Mm-hmm. And then when he shifted to Panama, he's like, cool, I'm going with the flow. I get it. And when he got back, he actually said, I'm so glad that I went because that was one of the best experiences of my life. And
that's so far.
Yes, that's so far. But, it's amazing. I don't want to take anything away from that. I think that he's very aware and present in his experiences, and we've done a lot of traveling. And for him to come back and say that, it was really beautiful. So it's nice to have him back in the house. And obviously, we had Lucas for 9 days, so that was fantastic for him. And it's really enjoyable watching them grow up. So I'm happy. I'm happy on many accounts.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. And I can vegan back off that. With Rex away, some magic for me was being able to spend that quality time with Lucas. We haven't had one kid around the house, especially for that amount of time. I don't know ever. Right.
No.
So Dave and Buster's and a couple times out to eat and watching all the movies and breaking a few rules on a school night by watching a movie and hanging out, and it was just awesome, and I felt like he was grateful for the time, and I know that I was grateful for the time, and grateful to have just to be able to spend quality time with a loved one like that in a different circumstance without Rex around, and just being able to focus on one was amazing. And always uncovers just another level of the relationship. You can get a little bit deeper. So I appreciated that. And then I had a second piece of magic actually as well, is that I just love when we listen to our intuition, baby. We a lot of times, we if you listen to our podcast, that we're structured. That our schedules, we time block, and everything is labeled. So that we have the most time possible to do all the other stuff that we want to do. And so one of the time blocks is shopping.
Yeah, grocery shopping.
Right? We shop once a week. We don't do any of that little shopping in between. And I need this. No, we get our shopping done, and we're very thorough with it. And we shop on Fridays. Friday afternoons. And without knowing that the schools were closing down and some of the mayhem that was coming up, out there, we just decided to go shopping on Thursday because we had a little time together, and we knew we could have a fuller day on Friday if we shifted things a little bit, and it worked out so amazingly well.
Yeah,
because literally, if we had gone shopping on Friday, we wouldn't have gone shopping on Friday, because the lines out of Costco and out of our local grocery store, Kroger here, it was insane.
It was
insane.
Yeah.
I saw pictures on Facebook from the Publix next to our house, and there was nothing on, literally there was nothing on the shelves.
Yeah, the entire cereal shelf was empty.
So, and we didn't go out and stock up or anything. It was just normal grocery shopping. And I am so grateful we did it, to have, we have our greens and the things that we like to eat. They're here, and I'm sure by the time next Friday rolls around, the shelves will be stocked again. So I'm not really concerned about it, except that if we had gone shopping, on Friday, we would not have gone shopping on Friday.
Yeah.
So anyway, totally magic. I love being tuned into spirit. I love being tuned into each other and our environment, and doing and listening to it and doing it. It's one thing to be tuned into your spirit, and another one to listen to it. So totally awesome.
Yes. Yeah, it was great. Yeah. Awesome. And we brought Rex with us too, because that was his day. Well, we picked him up Wednesday.
Right. And so he took the next day off.
Thursday, and he took he took Thursday off, and we had him, and he was like, geez.
Right.
So he got to experience the
interesting environment.
Yes. Yeah, and choices that everybody was making. So we had lots of great conversation, which actually is why we're doing this well, I guess special edition, whatever, but we definitely feel, again, listening to our intuition, we definitely feel inspired to get this info out there, because I know that there's a lot of fear-based conversation. One could even consider it hysteria if you're in certain parts of the country or certain parts of the world. And we felt that it was, we have tools to share, and we felt it was our responsibility, and we were inspired to really share them with you, because here in Atlanta, they closed schools. So literally they closed the building. So the kids are going to be in virtual classrooms until April 10th. Now here in Atlanta, our spring break is April 3rd through, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think they go back to school. I'd have to look at it. It's right around like April 3rd. It's the first full week of April that they're out of school. So they are considering that as part of the 3 weeks. But the 2 weeks starting Monday, the 16th, they are out in virtual classrooms. And so
are we, by the way.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Real estate, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So there's an opportunity to really look at the way that you're going to show up. And so the choice is, do I panic and, really subscribe to the end of the world type thing? Or do I utilize this as an opportunity to maximize family time, maximize our self time, and then maximize business? And so we put a checklist of like how to structure personal time and business and yourself and and move through this powerfully. So I think we should just get right in it, because I feel like this is, this is a huge opportunity, a great conversation.
Yeah. So it is. I mean, it's. Let's talk about some some personal items first, and then let's talk about the business and the real estate second, and not that one. Well, I mean, how you do your personals, how you do your business.
It flows from personal into business.
Yeah. So let's do that.
Yeah. I mean, and so just to I guess preface this, if you're like us, you're getting all of these emails from everybody. Like the Marriott or PetSmart or your closing attorney or
they're all talking
European
about
Wax Center. Like my wax center emailed me where I go get waxed. Just so you know that you're updated on our sanitation policies and all of those things. And it's really, it's for sure proactive.
Right.
And yet when you're getting inundated with all of these emails, there's a propensity to buy into the
it'll
fear.
heighten your it's heightening your I'm not going to say awareness. I'm not sure of the word I'm looking for here, but it can heighten your fear because you're constantly being bombarded by it, right? Because not only are you hearing on the news, and I know, when's the last time you went a day without saying the word corona?
Right. Or any conversation. Every conversation is around coronavirus.
Email, social media.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, so it's all out there.
Right. So step one of the personal
is to breathe.
Yeah, breathe.
Take a minute to breathe and have some thoughts for yourself around what it is to be in this environment right now, the corona environment, what it really means to you and your family, and how, you guys can really hunker down and, I'm going to say, weather the storm, because it's, like a snow day or anything else, it's really all how you relate to it. So take time to relate to it for yourself in a personal way, and not the way that's being dictated to you by the media or by your friends or anything else out there,
Yep, absolutely.
Cool. What are you, I know you had something about the law of motion. What were you speaking to?
Well, yeah. I mean, so it's the law of motion. This too shall pass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the natural law of ebb and flow. Like the tides go out and they come back in. The coronavirus comes and health comes back in. And so just for a moment, yes, this is a serious situation, and I don't want to necessarily play down the seriousness of the situation. I mean, clearly it's a thing, right? And so the conversation around this can be hysterical, or it can be, okay, cool, this is happening. Let's stay calm, again, breathe, and have an understanding that it is what it is. I mean, we move through our life day to day with breathing in 4 million viruses every second.
Right.
And so whether it's the flu or it's the cold or it's the rotavirus or it's stuff that kids pick up from daycare or it's stuff that somebody, sneezes on you when you're in a grocery store, wherever, like all of these things are out there all the time anyway. And the reason all of this is really heightened is because of, obviously, the media and social media and just the awareness of how rapidly, there's a bold law that says what you focus on expands. Yeah. And so the more you focus on a conversation, the more it's going to expand. And so again, with the law of motion, it's just every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Okay. Like that's literally the law of motion. And so when you're in this realm of the virus conversation, this too shall pass. Right. So it's a question again of how are you going to show up? How you're going to handle this is how your kids are going to handle it. How you handle the situation is how your friends and family will handle the situation. Because if you're, and your clients, so if you're calling your clients and saying, hey, like I called my listings yesterday and I said, look, here's the thing, with everybody really is this pause, like this national pause or hunkering down, and I'm finger quoting here, hunkering down to weather the storm. There is going to be a slowness, like my listings are not going to have people showing the property because everybody's like really hunkering down
or at
and
least
doing,
not at the rate that it was being shown. Yeah.
right, and doing this whole social distancing thing. I mean, you're certainly not out this weekend showing property. That's for sure. So it's I mean, it's definitely a thing. So your choice in this is how are you going to relate to it? Are you again? And we can't stress this enough. It's just how you handle this. It's how your kids are going to handle it, and how they're going to handle it with their friends, and remember this situation. So you get to choose. You get to choose your energy. You get to choose your actions, and frankly, you get to be either the shining light, in the midst of the darkness, or you're contributing to the darkness. I mean, I can't be any more.
Yeah, and that relates to the first thing we said: breathe and take responsibility for your actions and your thoughts.
Yep.
That's because you can be the example.
Absolutely.
You can be the leader, and you can be the example. And even if you influence one other person, or you're just influencing yourself, that's a huge shift. Yeah, that's a huge shift.
Absolutely, because it's going to show up. Like the fear conversation will show up in your health. Yeah. If nothing for yourself, then be the shining light for yourself. It's going to show up in your health and your stress level. Are you sleeping? Or are you not sleeping? Are you? I mean, right. All of those things.
Which leads to the next thing, which is stick to your schedule.
Yes.
Stick to your schedule. You have a schedule. You have time blocked. You run your business like a business. You run your personal life in an organized way that leads to greater things in your schedule. So stick to your schedule. Get up. This is not a time for you to start sleeping in till 9 or 10 or 11 o'clock. If you get up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and that's your regular time, then by God, get up at that time, get dressed, and get ready to do the day. And I'm going to say the same thing for your kids too. If your kids are getting up at 6 or 7 o'clock to go to school, and they're going to be doing homeschooling or the virtual school, then, maintain that schedule for them as well. At least at an 80 or 90%, I'm going to say 90, 95% rate, where they're getting up at the same time. Even if there's a little extra time because of carpool not happening or whatever, it's a great time to read. It's a great time to do gratitude with them. There's so many things you can do to help reinforce where you guys are and why you are where you are in this moment. And to be with them and be present with them, in a way that you haven't been before. So, stick to your schedule for sure.
Awesome. So let's talk self-care.
Okay.
First. Cool. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love self-care.
So we wrote first is welcome the downtime.
Yeah.
Welcome the downtime and appreciate the downtime, because when we're busy and we have 10, 12, 2, 20, whatever your number is, closings per month, and it's crazy, and oh my gosh, it's springtime, and it's the conversation is, I don't ever get to see my family, or I don't have any downtime. So here it is. Yeah. Enjoy the downtime. Go for a walk, exercise.
Yeah, get out in nature.
Hike, yes. Get out
outside.
in nature. Get out in nature. Nature is so grounding, and it's so loving, and just to be in the energy of nature, it's going to be very important. And then again, if you have kids, they're going to need to be, instead of being in the house all the time, they're going to need out time, exercise time. And it's a great time to get the pets out and the kids out, and just to go for a walk around the neighborhood. Because if you're like our neighborhood, everybody's home. Right. Like everybody's home right now.
Yeah.
There's, everybody's outside. Everybody's walking their dog because it's beautiful outside.
Kids are playing soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really neat. So definitely get out in nature. Some other self-care practices are take a bath or take a nap.
Yeah.
Allow yourself that self-care.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity to purge and to cleanse a little bit. You can do yard work. You can clean out the garage, the basement, the attic, and put those donations together. That probably it is spring cleaning time. So put those donations together and get ready to take those down to the Goodwill as well. Then that'll help get you out of the house as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it'll be a great time for the kids to purge as well. I'm sure that with Christmas and being over, and it's been another year since the last Christmas, right? So there's probably things that the kids can they purge as well. And one of the things that we like to do with our kids, and we used to do more when they were younger, is we'd put 3 boxes out for them, right? And so one box was definitely like donations. And then the other box, I'm trying to remember now, the other box was...
Well, there was a trash box.
It was a trash box.
It was a recycle box.
A recycle and a donation.
And, gosh, what was the other box? Well, I think there was a box that we needed to, like,
or maybe storage. It was like, the keep. It was a keep box that they didn't use anymore.
Well, no, it was a keep box, but it wasn't in its right place. So we had things to where we put it back in place with everything else.
Okay. So anyway, it makes it easier. You can work out your system, and it makes it easier for the kids to really delineate. And if there's something they're very attached to, then, maybe you're storing it instead of it being out or whatever, but it makes it easier to help sort through their stuff as well. So.
Yeah, they didn't like that trash box so much.
No, not at all.
And yet, they understood the concept of
so it was
purging.
Cool.
That's great.
Then you also, other opportunities during this time, you can read.
Yes, read. Read as a family. Read together, or do silent reading, like everybody's in the same room, or you don't have to read the same book, but you can read together, or you can read separately. But it's reading. Reading is amazing.
Yeah, reading. You can meditate or prayer or pray together.
Yeah,
have prayer time.
Yeah, that's really beautiful.
So, and the prayer time, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. And if it's meditating, you can definitely read a couple things here or there about meditating. And YouTube has tons of guided meditations at any time length, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, half an hour. Totally beautiful. And what we've experienced with our boys is that they like the guided meditations. It helps them get into the flow much more quickly. They fell asleep a lot, but they enjoy it too. So.
And a recommendation, if there is some fear coming up, or there's the overwhelm happening, or just any of that fear conversation, there's certainly anxiety relief meditations that you can go through and move through that'll assist you in moving that energy up and out, and really just repurposing that and rescripting that energy so that you can get into a more powerful space with yourself. So just take a peek at that.
Yeah. And then, of course, you can talk on the phone with family and friends, and, again, have those more energetic, uplifting conversations.
Watch movies, watch comedies, and laugh. Play board games, cards, awesome stuff.
And then, you can, of course, make love, right? We have busy schedules, and we don't always take all the time for our partners, or don't create the time. Or for ourselves,
Making love
right?
with ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, you can make love to yourself. You can make love to your partner, and it's a great time to be present with each other, to connect and get into that swirl of energy, and that'll move you from fear into love every single time.
Yeah, there's the three ways to access energy. The quickest are food and exercise, and then sexual energy. And so food, it nourishes your systems. I mean, it takes some time because it needs to digest, but food gives you access to energy. Exercise gives you access to energy. So it's nourishing your muscles, it's detoxifying your body through sweat, it's adding oxygen to your lungs, and again, it's giving you access to energy. But really the fastest way to connect to that energy source is through sexual energy and making love. And so it's an instant connection to that source energy, or God, divine, spirit, whatever your reference point is, or your name for that is. But truly it's instant. It revitalizes you, energizes you. You have heightened creativity, which obviously leads to inspiration. So we definitely recommend making love
as often as possible.
Yeah.
And if none of that resonates, learn a new skill.
What does that mean?
Crazy.
Learn a skill.
Do an online course. Learn a new language. What's that?
Rosetta Stone?
Well, Rosetta Stone's great, and Duolingo.
Yeah.
On your phone is fantastic and free.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. And what's the one that's resonating with you out of this?
Duolingo, for sure.
Duolingo. Well, what about getting caught up on CE?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Folks, all my CE, all my continuing education is due in July.
Yeah.
Like all of it.
So guess who's going online to do CE?
Yeah, I am. I've been looking at it. Thank you for that reminder.
Uh-huh.
See, I was going
That's
for
awesome.
Yeah. All right, cool. Cool.
All right, so let's get to
oh yeah,
let's get to kids.
Yeah, because this still falls under the personal stuff,
for
right?
sure. Because the kids are home now,
right? So I'm gonna say while the kids are home and in virtual school, make sure that you have a family meeting. Talking about all this, setting goals with them. I would say daily goal setting would be appropriate for sure. Whether it's school or household stuff, or
revisit the schedule and say, look, we normally get up at 6:00. So y'all are still getting up at 6:00. We're going to do our exercises. This is our schedule. We get up at 6:00. We do our exercises, and then we move into breakfast and making lunches, and then we do carpool. And so one of the things that we thought about, while instead of the time in carpool or driving them to school, is we would either get some reading in, or doing the gratitude journal as a family, or honestly, we even talked about cleaning like one room at a time, like the four of us going in one room, cleaning the room, going into the next room, cleaning the room, like deep cleaning, like doing the purge, if you will. So we'll let you know how that turns out. Yeah. But it's in the family meeting, it's saying, look, as a reminder, here's the schedule. We're sticking to the schedule. And we're excited about sticking to the schedule because that's going to really allow some stability throughout the day.
And make sure that when you're setting the goals, to make sure that you have some fun stuff at the end too. Hey, if we get all this stuff done today, we can play a game tonight, before or after dinner, or something, whatever feels rewarding and fun for your family.
Absolutely.
Awesome. We definitely recommend, as you're getting ready for this coming Monday to get, or this week to get organized, set up workspaces for each kid. For us, we talked about putting the kids in like at the dining room table together, although with virtual live classes, I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but we're going to set up dedicated spaces for them where we can help them, because we're basically homeschooling now, and they have the space that they need to do their virtual classes at the same time.
Yeah, it's their organized space. And then part of us, what Bill and I are doing is we're reaching out to our families and friends and essentially creating a support system. Like, hey, we're working. These are our dedicated hours to working. Is there any way that you can either, be on call or assist them, or can we move the kids over there for a couple hours so we can get some other time blocked activities in? So whomever that is for you guys, grandmoms or friends or families, or, there may be kid sharing co-ops in your neighborhoods. There's lots of stuff going around on our Facebook page, like, hey, who can take, 6 kids, or, can somebody be adult chaperoning in the park while I get some work done? So those ideas as well.
Yep. Very cool. So we talked about, following the school instructions to assist in the educational process and the homework. So make sure you review all of that. And then at the end of the day, just be patient and kind with each other. This is all new. This is not a 2 or 3 day snow day. This is something that could last a week or two. So,
well, it is. I mean, it is lasting 2 weeks. I mean, it's inclusive of spring break.
So have fun and reconnect and really enjoy the quality time. Because you have asked for it at some point, and now the universe has delivered.
And so, again, just to recap, we're definitely recommending getting dressed every day. Kids too, maintaining the routine, maintaining the schedule, including meals, and all of the routines. It's worth mentioning again.
Cool. Awesome.
Business?
Yeah. Okay. So we got to hunker down with business too, right?
Yeah. Well, right. I mean, because, there's a huge opportunity for us as well in maintaining business. I mean, this is why we fortify our relationships. So as an overall reference point, we really recommend that you read Shift, which is the title of the book is Shift, How Top Real Estate Agents Tackle Tough Times. And that's by Gary Keller, Dave Jenks, and Jay Papasan. And regardless of whether or not we're in a shift, it's it's great to have those tools in a toolbox. And why we don't necessarily think that this is going to be a full-blown shift, there's definitely tools in that book that will assist you in reiterating what we're about to share with you, and then obviously reiterating and may resonate more so from that book. So
yeah, and I
pick it up.
Don't necessarily want to get full into shift now, but I did find this one quote that I wanted to read.
Okay.
Yeah. So it says, if individuals understand a shift or have actually experienced one, they know they have to push past the fear and face two tests. First, to survive, and then to thrive. They have to hang tough until the law of equilibrium reasserts itself. Then it's opportunity time.
Yeah. And I definitely feel that. Like, I definitely feel like it's opportunity time. Like, all of that minutia that we are not able to get to really on a day-to-day basis because we're servicing clients at such a high level, I feel we are able to get to, whether that's readjusting our schedule or like really, I mean, it feels, actually, I'm really excited to be able to get through some of those things. So what we're about to share essentially is this little nugget applies. And this is how we do our prospecting. This is how we do our chunk, our time block chunk, but essentially it's working 45 minutes on and 15 minutes off. So super hyper focused, 45 minutes, intentional, clear, driven, purposeful work on whatever the task is. And then we take 15 minutes off to either service clients or go for a walk or do jumping jacks or call some people and check voicemail or check email. I mean, obviously those things would be servicing clients as well. But just really remember that it's 45 minutes intentionally purposeful work with the 15 minutes off. And what that allows you to do, again, is to focus. And it allows the brain to say, oh, I have permission to focus for 45 minutes because I know in 45 minutes, I'm going to, number one, get a break. And number two, to service the client. So I'll get to those emails. I'll get to the client. I'll get to myself to take a breather or get a fresh cup of tea or whatever it is. But overall, just utilize that hack. I mean, it really is a hack. I tell you, when we shifted that, when our business coach shared that with us, it's about 3 years ago now at this point. It's been a life changer because we'll do that at home too. Like I'll do 45 minutes of housework and take 15 minutes off, or 45 minutes in a bath. No.
And take a break and take a
break
bath?
and continue my bath.
That's terrible.
No. But seriously, it applies. It applies to all of it. And we teach the kids to do that too. 45 minutes of homework, 15 minutes off.
Nice.
It's very effective.
Yes.
So with that in mind, the first thing that we want to share with you is action items for your database.
Yeah. I mean, this is why we fortify our relationships, right? In our database, so, let's get on, let's start making some calls. Let's get out, get organized with your database and start making the calls and start with the low hanging fruit and work your way up. Because if you're anything like me, it's easier to talk to people who you're the most familiar with first. And then, and as you get warmed up, you can work your way down the list. And be prepared to have some longer conversations. People are going to be in their houses for extended periods of time, and they're going to want to have conversations.
Yeah, and connect.
Longer conversations and connect.
So just to be clear, we're talking about like what we categorize as our A pluses, our advocates, our A pluses and our A's we're calling.
Yeah, the people that are most likely to refer you business come hell or high water.
Cool.
Yep.
Ride or dies.
Yes, ride or dies.
BFFs. All the hashtags.
Some topics you can talk about with these guys are you can talk about refinancing.
Yes, mortgage rates are the lowest they've ever been. I mean, really.
You can call to connect and talk about expressing gratitude with your folks just for the referrals they've done or just for being in your life or whatever comes up in that moment. Those gratitude calls for me I actually like starting when I get on the phone. I'll typically call one or two people and give gratitude for them. It's not even like a sales call or it's just calling my mom or calling my sister or a loved one and giving gratitude for them. And that gets me warmed up to be on the phone. So I love doing those gratitude calls first. What else, Nance?
And then set up one-on-ones.
Oh, yeah.
With those, folks that are open to setting up one-on-ones. I mean, set up, go connect, go say hi and like be in that socialization of it. So, I mean, there's going to be plenty of people that are cabin fever is going to quickly sit in.
Yep.
I have a feeling. So
as you're going through this, you can clean out your database and organize it. You can qualify it. So you can always get the most out of it. And by qualifying, like Nancy was saying here is, who are your ride and dies? Are they labeled as an A or an A plus for you? Who's an A, who's a B, who's somebody who's likely to refer you. Maybe not every single time, but more than likely your name is going to come to the top. Who are the C's who might refer you every once in a while, and then who are the D's that you're going to delete out of your database?
Yeah, we're believers in delete.
Yeah. So and they can still be your friends. It's just that they're not in your CRM. So know the difference. This is business. And if they're not willing to refer you in business, it's not personal. It's just it is what it is. Get them out of there. And then your goal eventually is to move those people, those C's, and turn them into B's, and turn the B's into A's. And that'll be other conversations down the line. But getting organized with your database, if you haven't, is this is a great time to do that.
It's a perfect time. Absolutely
awesome.
And then following up with the phone calls, write your handwritten notes.
Oh, people love those, don't they?
Yes. And please, please, please do not put a business card in that handwritten note.
No.
It kills it. It completely counteracts the entire intention of that handwritten note, and that the thankfulness associated with taking the time to write the handwritten note is it kills it if you add a business card to it. So yeah. So write your handwritten notes after your phone calls.
Yep.
You may even want to set a goal of how many calls you make a day, and then how many connection points. I mean, there's nothing new here. You're literally in your house instead of your office. You may be in your office, but obviously chances are there's probably nobody else in your office, but the same rules apply. Like, you have goals, you have for calls, goals for connections, actual conversations, goals for appointments, and so on and so forth. So continue with the goal. Yep.
And, remember that, as you work with those goals and get those notes out and get those coffees with, and teas with those people, more real estate is done face to face. And as Gary Keller likes to say, belly to belly than anything else. So, get those appointments,
Yep.
Awesome. Let's talk about, I think not everybody does business by referral, Nance. So I think that talking about expireds or FSBOs is appropriate.
Yeah, for sure.
So what would you like to share about that?
Well, we can pick 2 or 3 areas of town.
Yeah.
As a, whatever your areas of town are, and then go back 3 to 5 years to find expireds that perhaps did not sell. And obviously, since there may be a shift coming, or at the very least, interest rates are lower than we've ever seen them, their motivation has changed.
Yep, for sure.
So how do you get the phone numbers? The phone numbers are either in the listings themselves as the homeowners, or you can use a photo dialer that has an enhanced geolocation, or, you can purchase FSBO or expired leads or FSBO or expired package that have the phone numbers. And then, you download the phone numbers into your dialer. We use a dialer. And what we're finding is that, obviously using the dialer, it cuts down the amount of time that you're on the phone. But nevertheless, if you really, I think the biggest impact of this conversation is to focus where you're calling.
Yes.
First. So you're not, and you stay in your area of expertise, and you're not driving out to Jabip to service somebody that you're not going to be able to service. So it's just not a win-win for everybody.
No.
But generally, of course you can go back 1 to 2 years, but anybody that is like 3 to 5 years ago, that's chances are they're more inclined to move now than, well, at least they will be preparing to move.
Yep. So
more so than anybody else, really, 1 or 2 years.
And if it's not a for sale by owner or an expired, and you're prospecting, another idea that just popped into my head just this moment is to look at those newer built neighborhoods. If you happen to live in an area where there's new construction, anybody that bought 3 to 5 years ago, you may want to go through those tax records to see who bought in those neighborhoods 3 to 5 years ago, and chances are they're ready to move up. Especially if they're in a lower price range and they're coming at their first time home buyers or whatever. They may be ready to move up to a different size house or do something different.
Yep.
So it'd be a great way to canvas those people too.
Yep.
Awesome. And then social media.
Oh yeah, man. Everybody's home. Everybody's home right now.
Yeah. And on social media.
So post often. Ooh, add video, get very familiar with Facebook Live or IGTV or YouTube or any of the streaming services that do the little snippets of video, and then clean up your social media accounts. I mean, for us, like that is super low on the priority totem pole, is cleaning up those accounts, update your pictures, update your verbiage, update your descriptions, or any of those things associated with all the social media accounts. You can completely go through those accounts and add SEO and change the meta tag, like all of that stuff. Like you have an opportunity to just do that stuff because, again, we're embracing the downtime.
So, and then the last thing I'm going to say, I would like to talk about as far as the
lead gen.
The lead gen goes while you are home with your kids and hunkered down and breathing and meditating and doing all this stuff that you can be doing and making love. Yes, is go back through your work journals and your text messages. Go back to the beginning of time with your text messages and your emails, your lead files. And go on that treasure hunt.
Yeah.
I promise you that you will unearth a lead or two that has gone dormant. And just because you were in the energy of it and reaching out to them, they're going to pick up and there's going to be some kind of connection. You're going to get, I guarantee you will get at least 1 to 2 sales by digging through all your old contacts. I mean, I do it every once in a while.
Yeah, he shakes the tree.
Yeah, and I'm shaking that's when I'm shaking the tree. Yeah. And I just did a little bit of that lately, and we have 2 leads off of it already.
Right. Yeah. We loved calling it. It's a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those
so
yellow
awesome.
Legal notepads.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how many of those I have.
Yep.
It's crazy. Well, I'm excited. I am excited. I mean, you held me accountable. Well, number one, he asked me, how many hours of lead gen are you going to do this week? And then he challenged me to go through all of my old yellow legal pads and my old notebooks before I went to, using the phone, the technology to keep notes on. So it'll be cool. I'm excited to go through those and see what we can create. We're going to create a little contest out of it. He doesn't know that yet though.
Oh my gosh, really?
I'm going to win.
Well, of course. You're the most competitive person I know. And it's awesome. Okay. All right. Let's go. Awesome.
All right. Some last minute nuggets. These are great.
Yeah. Let's.
I'm very excited to share.
This is out of shift. This next one. No?
How I like to look at this is these things are working on the business. Like the lead gen we just went over was working in the business, and these are working on the business.
Yeah. Because when you take time to work on your business,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
True.
Exactly.
So play red light, green light.
What is that?
So you go through every expense you have. So if you have a P&L for your business, if you're actually reading your P&L,
profit and loss statement.
Yep.
Yes.
And going through and looking at your expenses. What are you paying out on? What is necessary? What's really necessary? What's necessary, and what's unnecessary? And start. What are those subscriptions that you have that don't make any sense anymore? This is a great time to trim the tree a little bit and pare things down.
Yes. And if you don't have a P&L, then you're literally going through your bank statement and going, okay, this is a business expense. Is this necessary? If it's not necessary, then that may be red and it's out. Green means go, red means out or stop.
Yeah. And watch your attachments with it. Get rid of it first and see how it feels, you can always resubscribe. You can always reactivate. But get rid of it for a week or 2 or a month and see how it feels and see how it really affects your business or not.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
Clean out your office.
Oh my gosh.
Craziness.
Yes.
Files everywhere.
Everything. Clean it out.
Yep.
Just purge. Purge.
Part of that is cleaning out your filing cabinets.
Clean out your work bag.
Oh, come on. Why are you looking at me?
All those little pieces of paper that are everywhere. Yeah, clean out your work bag.
That's my system, baby. That's my system.
I get it, but at least organize it.
Heard.
And, put like with like.
This is a great time to update your listing and buyer presentation.
Yes.
And that's something else we'll be working on is the buyer, especially our buyer presentation, because it's, like the interest rates are a little bit dated in our buyer presentation right now. A couple things in there. So looking to, it won't take long.
Yep.
And again, I have the time to do it now. So
Yep.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
And then the last thing is to update your marketing and email campaigns.
Yeah. What does your marketing look like? What do your email signatures look like? What do your email campaigns look like? What are like all of those things? Do you have stationery? Do you have envelopes? Do you have like all of those things? Is there anything that you need to get going for your farm? Like Bill and I just went through our farm and what our farming calendar looks like for 2020, which we completely overhauled considering, what we're in the process of moving through with Corona-mageddon. But, like what are the Popeye gifts that you're getting? What are the postcards you're sending? Who are the sponsors that you're getting to help sponsor? So anything marketing related. And then the other thing that we're literally in the process of overhauling are our events. I mean, we put on 6 to 8 client appreciation events every year, and the baseball stadium is now closed.
Yep.
And the movie theaters are closed.
Yep.
And the comedy improv place that we were going to use is closed. So, that's going to be part of our conversations when we get on the phone with our database is like, hey, like we're still having these events, but maybe it turns into a survey, like which one do you want to experience first, or so on and so forth. So we're in this real time with you guys. And, of course it goes without saying, if you have any questions or comments or feedback or really anything, just reach out to us. You could DM us at Sex Money Real Estate on Instagram, or you can email us at sexmoneyrealestate@gmail.com and ask your questions. I mean, we love answering your email and your fan mail and comments and things like that. And we know that it's a little bit of a tricky time right now, and yet there's plenty to do. And so what we're subscribing to and here to hold space to assist you with is moving through it in the most powerful way you can. I mean, there's so much money to be had. And yes, the next couple of weeks are going to be a little tricky and may not necessarily produce buyers or sellers. And yet it's okay, because there is, we're going to get to the other side of it. We're going to get to the other side of it.
We're going to be the other side of it. We're going to be greater for it. You're going to see that there's going to be other agents. There'll be agents that will drop off because of the market. It's going to allow you who embrace the change and make the changes are going to really thrive in this. It's a great time to thrive.
Yeah, it is a
great time to get
thrive.
Organized.
Yeah.
And I can't emphasize enough, if you start to feel a little overwhelmed, if you start to feel a little bit of cabin fever, that is a great time for you to get back into your body. If you're not, if you don't exercise regularly, then go for a walk.
Go for a walk.
If you do exercise regularly, do some push-ups, do some jumping jacks,
burpees.
Do burpees. Yes, burpees are my thing right now. Do burpees. Go for just a 1 mile run. What's your best 1 mile time? Go out and get that. Do something to get back into your body, which will get you back into spirit and away from that, away from those disempowering feelings.
Yes.
So I can't say that enough.
Yep, absolutely. Again, just reach out and connect with us too. We're here.
Yeah, and that was thank you. And that was going to be the other thing. And we're here to help.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling discouraged, if it, or just could use some more examples or help with some of the things we talked about on this podcast or any of the other ones, we're here. Reach out to us.
Yep.
You can email us at
sexmoneyrealestate at gmail.com.
Yep. You can DM us on Instagram.
At Sex Money Real Estate. See, it's so easy.
And is there another one?
It's so easy to connect with us. Well, yeah, we're on Facebook.
Well, individually we are. And reach out to us on Facebook too.
Well, at Sex Money Real Estate.
Right. So we're here.
Branded.
And we obviously we all have a little bit more time than we did. So please, let us know how we can help. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Absolutely. Are you feeling complete?
I am feeling very complete.
Beautiful.
So thank you all for tuning in on this episode that came up out of the blue. What was it? Out of the blue.
Corona apocalypse.
Corona apocalypse. And we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Love you guys.
Wow, what a show. Thank you so much for listening. And if you're inspired, we ask that you share the podcast with one person and subscribe and follow the show. I'm Bill Jameson.
And I'm Nancy Jameson.
And remember, it's a great life.
Quick note about the Sex, Money, and Real Estate podcast. We are not doctors or licensed therapists. We are a joyous, abundant, and mature couple passionately sharing our story of growth around sex, money, and real estate. Our thoughts, opinions, and beliefs are our own, so please consult your doctor, healthcare provider, or your broker regarding any questions or issues you have related to your physical or mental health or specific state laws regarding your real estate business.